One of the biggest pet peeves I run into when people tell me that they've fallen off the wagon in terms of healthy eating was that they couldn't afford to eat healthy foods. And I look around them and I see them spending a lot of money on junk foods. They put money into the vending machines. They always come in with McDonald's or Starbucks, and they're telling me they can't afford to eat healthy. And it's just unbelievable. I look around them and I go, oh my god, I can't afford to eat what they're eating. And especially many years ago when I really couldn't afford that stuff. I was dating a girl one time, and I we ended up breaking up because I couldn't afford the kind of eating habits that she would insist. I mean, we were going out to fast food restaurants, but on a regular basis, and I really couldn't keep up with that. I was still working on my PhD at the time, and I overheard her talking with some of our mutual friends, and she was blabbing about, oh, that stuff is very cheap. It's only fast food. And, I was thinking about it. Cheap is relative. It's not a cheap form of food. It might be a cheap form of entertainment, maybe, but I don't find myself needing to entertain myself 7 days a week, right? For example, last year, I went to a computer game conference in Macau, another one in Taiwan. I got to see some of my family members in Taiwan. And during the year, I went to Ellensburg a couple of times to view the night sky. Oh, we got very dark skies over there. Overall, I would say that's about. I would say that's less expensive than a regular junk food kind of habit. And moreover, none of that stuff is going to negatively impact my health. I guess there's a minor radiation dose from interstellar radiation when you fly across the continent, but probably not as bad as an everyday McDonald's or Starbucks habit, depending on what you put in your Starbucks coffee. Straight up black coffee probably isn't so bad. But my point is that you got to be consistent with what you're comparing it. And then sometimes I hear people tell me that the reason they can't afford healthy food is, well, because if they take the time to cook the healthy food, maybe they need to juggle two jobs or something like that. But I look at these people's schedules and they're doing all the stuff that I couldn't find time to do. The average American is watching how many hours of television every night? And the average American, because they're eating all this crap, they suffer from insomnia and they toss and turn. That's a huge waste of time, in my opinion. And they're telling me that they can't afford to spend half an hour to an hour cooking. It just doesn't seem to add up. And so this whole afford concept, I don't know how they're affording all of these other things and yet they can't afford to eat healthy. So that's my number one pet peeve with healthy eating myths. Another myth that I hear regularly, especially around the holidays, I'm recording this in early January, another myth that I hear a lot of is that healthy foods, they taste bad. And I think this is a very logical concept. So if we were to draw out a diagram, let's see if we can, let's get out of here. So if we drew out a quadrant of all the possible foods that are out there, and let's imagine everything on the right-hand side of this y-axis is things that you like to eat, things that taste good to your taste buds, and everything above the x-axis is healthy. Well, in quadrant 1, we have things that you like and that are healthy. You're going to eat them, right? They're healthy, you like them. For me, I can think of a lot of foods that would fit in this category. I'm not going to really mention them on camera because people like to tease about how I eat. So, yeah, I'm sure you can name a few up here. Post a comment if you want. Look at quadrant number 3. These are things that you don't like, and they're unhealthy. A lot of things would fit that bill for me as well. What do I do with them? Well, I'm not going to eat them, right? I don't even think about it. So if we look at the pattern, I'm not going to think of anything in number 1. I just eat them. I'm not going to think of anything in number 3. They might as well be a foreign substance from another planet, right? Okay, so we said everything here, everything to the left of the y-axis is things that I don't like, but everything above the x-axis is healthy stuff. Well, here, I have to compromise my taste buds, right? I think for a lot of people, a lot of vegetables would fall into this group, right? And then group number 4, you have foods that taste very good but are unhealthy, right? For a lot of people, junk food, soda, maybe even cigarettes and alcohol would probably fall into category number 4, right? So if you think about it, what quadrants of foods would you mentally spend energy on? Well, it'd be number 2 and number 4, right? So of course you're gonna, if those are the only foods that are at the border of your decision making, of course you're gonna say everything that tastes good is unhealthy, right? And you're gonna, the point I'm trying to make is we underappreciate things that taste good and are healthy for us, and then we forget that a lot of these the tastes are very acquired, right? When I started eating healthier many years ago, one of the first healthy foods that I started eating was dark baking chocolate, unsweetened baking chocolate, and well, I'll let you think about the quadrants. The other myth that drives me nuts is that people sometimes, I don't know if they're trying to worry about me or if they're just being very creative, but they worry that if I'm stuck in a deserted island with nothing else to eat and all there is junk food, they ask me, well, would you still starve yourself? And I'll let you think about that answer for now, but my answer to that is that we're not in that situation. I mean, do you find yourself practicing cannibalism on a daily basis just because it might come in handy one day? No! I mean, you might use it if it comes in handy. You don't practice it. And I viewed the idea of eating junk food or drinking soda or taking drugs as a situation just like that, right? If the situation arises where it's appropriate, I'll do it. But we're not in that situation today. And in 17 years of healthy eating, I've never run into that situation. I love to watch Survivor, and if I were on that show, yeah, maybe, or I might just quit that show altogether. I'm sure if I just walk off the island, there's not going to be somebody to stop me from doing that. Another myth that sometimes drives me nuts is that people worry about the social aspect. If I'm at a party, and I'm being offered something. My point is, I have a question for you. If somebody only wants to be your friend if you'll take a junk food or drugs or a cigarette, are they your friend? So I invite you to think about all these concepts the next time you are contemplating throwing in the towel on your healthy eating. Thanks for watching.